What happens when the heavy hitters come together? The neutral zone. With your hosts, Bird Gang representative Casual E and Sean McConnell from Casual Sports, me, Jay Adams, and NFL vet Ed Smith from Easy Sports Talk. Buckle up for 60 minutes of NFL football previews and pick'ems. Hold tight as we preview this week's games with in-depth analysis and opinion and a flavor all our own. Bragging rights are on the line with the Neutral Zone Pick'em trophy up for grabs. It's the Neutral Zone. Lace them up.
It is the Neutral Zone. We do this every Thursday, except this is Wednesday, because it's one of those weeks because we are all fathers, we are working men, and sometimes you got to make changes because that's what you got to do, so you got to amend the schedule. Tomorrow is Halloween, and so, kids going to be trick-or-treating. We didn't want to be sitting here and everybody talking about trick-or-treat, and next thing you know, I'm starting to curse over the airwaves, and that's not cool because we are on KSRNAZ.com, Casual Sports Radio Network. So my name is Javon Adams, and joining me to my immediate right is the one and only Casual E. Earl Burnett.
What's up?
And then we have Sean McConnell.
Hey.
And the one that's missing, I'm sitting in his spot, is the one that has all the cool little one-liners. Well, Sean has some great one-liners, but Ed Smith, our resident professional football player and baseball player. He has other duties because we all got like 55 jobs around here doing our things. So shout out to Ed Smith.
We gotta bring it tonight too, because we need the energy. We gotta bring this hump day. Wednesday, we got to bring some energy. Let's
Yes, indeed. So one of the things I'm going to just say this before we get, because we are at our heart, our core, a Cardinals show, but this is our NFL Pick'em show. So we have a good time with it. We keep the score. I know Sean's going to pull that up. Earl, he has an administrative assistant sometimes that he'll send in the picks to. He'll give the picks. And then so that person will then make sure to put his picks in because Earl was at the UCLA ASU game, so that was terrible. And he just happened to forget to make his picks last week. So Earl is probably out of it.
Yes.
Are we going to give him grace and just count the points, or are we going to?
We could. We could give him an average or something. I wouldn't mind.
Even if you gave me all of them right, I'd still be in last place.
As long as I'm not in last.
All right, so if you're forfeiting now, and we can put that on record. You can kiss that goodbye.
I know, man. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. So Sean, whenever you pull that up, go ahead and give the rundown.
I got that right here. We'll start like we said in last place by a mile. 56 points for Earl.
I got a flat tire.
Let's see if he's trying to win a set of tires. You got Jay. You got Jay and Ed tied 76 points.
Okay.
Technically, I think, Jay, they're giving you like the edge. But you should be tied. You guys are tied. So,
right.
And myself gaining some more points, 4 points up on them. 80 in first. Enjoying the cushion. We'll see if Ed can forget his picks this week, and maybe we'll just have, me and you do.
Something like that. And this is really funny. One of the things that, and we'll get to the games in a second, but this is just one of those funny Ed-isms. So we're in a group chat, a continual group chat, and so when Earl was at the game last week, when it looked like ASU was going to lose, and that was probably from the first snap, but. So I said, guys, this ends all momentum for ASU. And so you guys remember what Ed said? He said essentially, yeah, what he said he said they definitely blew it because it's like the guy that buys the flowers for his wife for no reason, and then 3 weeks later forgets the anniversary. That's what ASU did. That's essentially what ASU did by losing to.
It's all relationship stuff too.
It is. It's classic.
That's so true.
It's classic.
Maybe it's something going on we don't know about.
He's just a man that has all kinds of experience, man. I don't know. You catch him with a beer. Catch that with a beer.
Hey, before you get started on that, shout out to my man Mitch for the articles going up on the website this week, man. The boy's been writing his butt off.
Cranking them out. I can't keep
cranking
them out.
Shout out.
So shout out, Mitch. Good job, bro. Appreciate it.
You got Earl Burnett over here changing people's lives and everything. So let's get to it. So this week, the teams on byes, the Falcons, the Bengals, the Rams, and the Saints. And it's interesting, the Bengals, they made a change at quarterback, so Dalton is out. And he probably was saying thank you under his breath. But they did it They benched him on his birthday. Did you guys hear that?
Right.
They benched him on his birthday, and he probably was secretly saying, "Cool." He wasn't in the locker room when he had to face the media and all that stuff. So I think that's understandable. It's the ending of a lackluster era, but an era nonetheless. So Falcons, Bengals, Rams, and Saints. So let's get off. So we break it off into typically 4 segments. We're going to probably do it a little bit different this week because the Cardinals are playing on Thursday night, and plus we can do that. We'll probably have a longer segment on the Cardinals for various reasons, and so because of that. But typically the first segment of the 4, the first segment is kind of those games that are interesting to me for a variety of reasons. The second segment is dedicated to the Cardinals. The third segment is the second tier of games in terms of the interest and maybe the matchup or just whatever storyline attached to it. And then the fourth is, those are our quick hitters. Those are the ones that the also rans, that type of stuff. So the quick hitters. So we'll probably get to those. But either way, our picks will reflect our decisions or our thoughts on those games. So let's get off on the first one. The Patriots at the Ravens. It's a Sunday night game. We know the Patriots are coming in. They are undefeated. This is just interesting just because of what you expect historically when you think about the Ravens as a team. They've been a little bit inconsistent as of late, but still this game because of the Patriots, and will they continue to roll and move on and catch another victory? What you got on this one, Sean?
The Patriots just don't drop games. They don't drop games. Even to the Ravens, they're not going to drop games. Granted, this is definitely going to be their toughest opponent by a mile this season so far. I think this Patriots defense is finally going to be tested since Baltimore is just dropping 447 yards per game. That's all they're dropping. The Patriots are going to have a test. Could they lose this one? Yes, but I can't bet against the Patriots right now with all that's going for them. So I'm going to pick them on the road. Like Ed says, since Ed's not here, I reserve the right to change this one. This is one of those ones where I'm kind of iffy on.
Right.
But I'm going to go Patriots on the road to start.
Yeah, this definitely is their biggest test. We get to see exactly what they really made of. Are they as dominant as we think they are? But I'm pretty sure they are defensively because they're leading in every category defensively. So you can't dismiss their defense. But Belichick is game planning to stop one dude in this game.
Okay.
One guy.
Yep.
The one that makes it all go for Baltimore. That's
right.
Mr. Jackson.
Mr. Jackson.
If he can keep that dude in a box and keep him from running, he's got 576 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns so far. If he can kind of tie that up and keep him in the box, that's going to be probably Belichick's way of trying to win this game, is to kind of confuse Lamar Jackson, on the defensive end, and then try to keep him in that box from running on them.
Is Lamar in a box?
But the Ravens are a physical team, man. They run downhill. Chubb last week ran on the Patriots pretty good. So I would imagine this week that my man on my fantasy team, Mark Ingram, should have a big game in this game too. So this is going to be can the Ravens run the ball against the Pats, and can the Pats stop Lamar Jackson? But
the Pats, we know that what Belichick does. He's just coaches should really study this dude. Man, he is the king. He is the king of the second half adjustments.
Yes.
Ed and I talked about this and Believe in the Arizona Cardinals, where you talk about, and we'll get to this when we talk about the Cardinals with, say, Cliff Kingsbury. One of the things that he doesn't seem to be able to do at this point in his coaching career, young coaching career, is make those second half adjustments. But we know that Belichick, that is what he does. That's probably what he lives for. He just thinks the first half is probably just inconsequential. As long as I can get the last possession of the first half and the first possession of the second half, correct, I'm good to go. We're gonna make the adjustments we need to make.
True, but Harbaugh's not.
He's no slouch. He's no slouch
either. Right. But here's the number one stat of this game. Belichick is 20-0 against first and second year quarterbacks. 20-0.
Right.
And it's like, whoa. Jeez. So do they have a shot? Can Lamar Jackson finally figure it out as a young head, right, against that puzzle?
Right.
Man, that's a hell of a stat.
Let's move on to Kansas City Chiefs, the Minnesota Vikings. It's going to be an interesting one, if for no other reason than we know that I believe that Mahomes is not going to start again. So I believe he's not going to play.
Confirmed?
I want to say, let me see if I can look at this injury report here as we scrolling down in real time here. Let's see, injuries. Mahomes, as of right now, he is out.
Wow.
According to the injury report.
Which is about right.
So the Minnesota Vikings are 6-2. It's almost as if you're just still waiting for that other shoe to drop with Cousins. He's putting up great numbers over the last 3 weeks, I want to say. But it's their running game that really makes them go, and they have a really good defense as well. One of the issues we talk about coaches we just talked about Belichick, and with Reed, and if Ed was here, I think he would echo this, that he's a very good coach, but his time management, clock management, that's an issue for him. So if it comes down to those close games, you just wonder, what is he going to do? Right. And sometimes Andy Reid seems to be the guy that, even though he knows he should maybe focus on the run a little bit more, he just never does. Correct. Is that because he wants to be the guy that seems to me he wants to be the smartest guy in the room? Yeah. But when you're looking at Stephon Diggs, you're looking at Dalvin Cook, as I mentioned, he's that proverbial straw that stirs that drink when you're thinking of in terms of offensively. So who you got in this one, Earl?
Yeah, this one's another one of those good games. It's going to be probably the best game this weekend.
Okay.
It would have been even better had Mahomes been on the had he been playing. But you got to give, like you said, Andy Reid credit. Like I said last week, he needed a game plan to play against that Packers defense, and they showed up and played a pretty damn good game in that game. I did not expect them to play that good.
Yeah.
So to see that he can have a game plan for Matt Moore's strengths, and he used those weapons.
Right.
I like their chances in this game, but Dalvin Cook has just been too much, man. This guy has been everything that keeps the Vikings offense going.
Right.
When Cook is going, then you get the money man Cousins going. And once he gets that running game going, then you get play action going, and they get all those deep balls going. So can the Chiefs defense stop Dalvin Cook? Now the Chiefs defense has been balling the last few weeks.
Right.
25 sacks. 25 sacks. That's fifth in the league right now. So they've been getting at their passer.
Right.
So if you can shake Cousins up, you know what that's gonna look like.
We know what that's going to look
25
like.
25 sacks, 13 different people getting sacked. So they're getting pressure from everywhere. So that's going to be pretty interesting to see if Captain Kirk can withstand that pressure. But I'm going to have to go with the Vikings because they got a lot more weapons, and I love Dalvin Cook in this game.
You called Cousins the money man.
Yeah, he got fat pockets.
The money man and the bank robber are not synonymous. They're not synonymous.
Oh,
well
good.
done, well done.
This is a weird game to me.
That's good.
Without Mahomes, with Mahomes, this would be a clear decision. I'm still gonna go Chiefs.
Okay, Chiefs.
I'm planning for the Chiefs to stop Dalvin Cook. That's your biggest concern. The Vikings have been able to right the ship and beat teams that are beneath them as they're supposed to. Meanwhile, Casey's banged up badly, but Ed would say this too. Playing in Arrowhead is a whole different monster.
Okay.
Especially for a team that plays indoors. It may be cold in Minnesota, but not when they play on Sundays.
Right.
It's going to be cold in Arrowhead. I'm seeing this as a knockdown, drag-out fight. It's not going to be an easy win, but I see KC going away with it late.
Wow.
Interesting.
With Matt Moore at the helm, huh?
It's not going to be about Casey's offense as much as it is about Casey's defense shutting down Minnesota while Minnesota's on the road in conditions that aren't favorable to them, I think.
There you go.
Going with my gut.
So let's move on to Carolina Panthers, Tennessee Titans. This is going to be interesting, if no other reason than to see how Carolina bounces back. So let me just give you a couple of numbers, right? Because they played the Cardinals opponent this week. They played the San Francisco 49ers, and they were limited to 13 points. Okay, so what's the big deal? They had 130 yards rushing. Okay, great. But they were able, they gave up 232 yards rushing. The defense also was the biggest thing was that they were able, was the running back, why is his name escaping me?
Breida? You talking about on the
CMC?
49ers?
No, I'm talking about McCaffrey. McCaffrey, they were able to bottle up McCaffrey.
That was the game right there.
Yeah, he wasn't able to do anything. And so when you're looking at this, the quarterback that they have in place for Newton, I'm curious to see how they're going to bounce back from this.
Yeah.
What's going to happen? Tennessee, they ended up there. I believe they won last week. Tennessee is one of those teams that's just up and down, but I'm just curious to see what this is going to be like. So who you got in this one, Earl?
Yeah, when you're giving up 6.1 yards per carry and you get run on 200 yards. I kind of see that similar to the game we're going to see tomorrow.
Oh, my goodness.
No, but let me
brag on them later.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But yeah, when you can put the formula together to stop the Panthers, it's pretty simple. Shut down McCaffrey and run on them. Pretty much. If you can run on them and shut down their run or their ace for their whole team, they're pretty much done. And you saw what defenses have done to the second year guy, Kyle Allen.
Yes,
he's starting to look like more pedestrian, like he should have been. But look for Derrick Henry in this game.
Okay,
if the 49ers can run on them with power, this is one kid right here that's got some serious power that can run on them. So
yeah.
And I love how Tannehill has evened out their team a little bit more with the passing game now. It's a little bit more fluent. It may not be dominant, but it's able to keep up in a game and be and keep them in a game. He had 109.8 passer rating, and he's about that for the last 2 weeks. So that's not bad for Tannehill being able to sustain that offense. But just look for Derrick Henry to have a big game in this one. I think the Titans can do the same thing and look at that formula that the Niners did on the Panthers. Only thing I don't like is that it's at home for the Panthers and they go crazy at home. But I'm gonna take the Titans because it's just gonna be a weird game. And plus, in my picks anyway, what the hell cares? I'm all back. I gotta start.
Yeah, you got nothing
to
lose.
What you did last year. Start rolling the dice.
Nothing to lose now.
See what happens.
So Mariota is officially done, right? I mean,
I think so, man.
Yeah, unless Tannehill gets injured, then they'll have to bring Mariota back in.
Because my notes were based on Mariota and Allen having a lot of the same numbers, but Allen's played less games. I still have no stock I can put into the Titans right now, especially if I want to hold on to a lead. I can't put any stock into the Titans. I want Derrick Henry to do well. Trust me, he's on my fantasy team. He's not been doing what I've been expecting. Last year was just huge. This year, not so much. I'm seeing Christian McCaffrey do well. Allen will manage the game. They're at home. It's kind of a 50-50 game for me, so I'm going Panthers. The Titans are so weird to bet on, right?
Yeah, each week you just flipping a coin.
You never know.
Pretty much.
Yeah, most definitely. Los Angeles Chargers, Green Bay Packers. The Packers are coming to Los Angeles, where they'll have more fans in the stands than the Chargers will. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. One of the things that we know is that Green Bay is 7-1. The reason I say it's interesting, Ken Wisenhunt was just fired this week. So he was the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. And the last few weeks, the offense was anemic. And so what's going to happen? Is this one of those people have been talking about the decline of Rivers for a little while, for the last maybe 3 or 4 years. And maybe this might be that telltale sign that maybe they're looking to maybe move on to the offseason, because if you let go somebody it's been well documented that he was definitely a fan of Ken Wisenhunt and his offense. So maybe that's something to look out for in the offseason. But the Chargers, this is one of those years where the Chargers, you never know what to expect from the Chargers. This is what you can kind of expect from them, I think, for the rest of this year. Who knows if they're going to – it has to be tough. It has to be difficult to it's almost like you're playing an away game every week.
Oh, yeah.
Because you're in Los Angeles, and people from Los Angeles don't want you, and people from San Diego who even supported you when you were in San Diego, they don't care that you're up there because they're not going to drive 2.5 hours up the road to watch you play. So the defense for the Green Bay Packers is doing a great job. We know that it seems that everything is starting to mesh and gel with the first year coach, along with the first year coach and with Aaron Rodgers. So what do you got on this one, Sean?
I've been saying the last couple weeks, the Chargers are finally taking their first steps in the rebuild now with firing Wisenhunt. Rivers is next, right? It's just an inevitability. Bleacher Report releases those Gridiron Heights little shorts. I don't know if you guys seen those. It's just little cartoons.
Hilarious.
So the 04 draft class, man, I mean, they're getting haunted by their past now, and Rivers is one of those ones. And, just like Eli, his number's being called, and it's about time to hang it up. It's tough for the Chargers, but they need this rebuild, and they might move again. Right. Like you're saying, an away game every week, that's rough. But where are you going to go? I wouldn't want to be drafted by the Chargers right now, I can tell you that.
That's true.
The Packers, man, they're playing well. They're going to continue their playoff push, so I see Packers here, and I just don't want to see Rivers get benched in this game. So we had a comment on Facebook, too. Tim said, he's looking a lot like Cutler lately, and that just rung really true to me.
Wow.
Okay, good.
Whereas
good
Cutler looked like Cutler his whole career.
Yeah.
Rivers is looking like Cutler now for this short.
Right.
So we'll clarify that, but right now he's looking like Cutler, and all he needs is that cigarette on the bench, and he's pretty much there.
You'll vote for that. What you got, Casually?
When it's time to go and you don't want to go, where do you go?
Yeah.
I mean, where's Rivers going to be? What's he going to do next year? Because I'm looking at it like, ain't nobody going to pull him in for no starting quarterback job nowhere. Him and Eli, we had that on the show Monday. Him and Eli's like, they might as well just, what's all that's left in the cards is to go ahead and call it quits.
Right.
Yeah, call it while you're kind of ahead.
Yeah, I guess so.
Kind of ahead. I mean,
that does have to be the toughest thing, though. When you
tough.
don't want, if you feel, because I'm not the guy. I think as I get older, and when you have passions, when you love something, or if you're really good at doing something, and maybe your skills are on the decline, but you almost want to say you're gonna have to drag me out,
right?
Before I just walk out willingly.
Exactly. And then on the opposite of that, there's some guys that just know they leave on top, and they say, you know what, I did it, I'm good, I can wash my hands of it.
Yeah,
I ain't got to worry about it. But some guys, like you just said, don't want to leave. And man, I'm trying to see. I can't even imagine a team. Just off the top of my head, I can't even imagine one team saying I need Phillip Rivers as my quarterback. Right?
Phillip Rivers is going to be the bruh man of the NFL, just showing up asking for a sandwich.
You mean the Raiders and the Bengals wouldn't want him right now?
Unless you want to bring him in as a backup or something and groom some new kid that's coming out of the draft. But, Rivers, come on down.
Yeah.
But in this game, I mean, the Packers are pretty much in playoff form, it looks like to me. Rodgers is starting to get his groove going, and he's doing it without his number one receiver. So I like the Packers all the way in this game pretty handily.
Okay. So I'm going to give you, remember those back in the day, I know Earl and I are older than you, Sean.
No.
But you remember those Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Yeah.
You ever read those Choose Your Own Adventure? I used to love those Choose Your Own Adventure books. So we can either go right to the Cardinals, or we can go to the second tier games and then come to the Cardinals and spend a little extra time. What would you choose your own adventure? What would you like to do?
I would choose, man. The former is kind of scary. It's a scary adventure right now. So I mean that's more of like a horror story.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm gonna go with the latter. I think I'd rather go with the other games before we get into it.
Okay, let's do that then. That's what we're gonna do.
Skip the Cardinals right
now. We
now.
gotta wait to go through that haunted house.
Woo!
Man,
we gonna have.
I gotta get my flashlight.
Yeah, we gonna have all kinds. We gonna have Pennywise in there and all that stuff. Everybody about to be in there. So let's get to it. So how about a little bit of the Cowboys at the Giants? It's the Monday night game. The reason that this is interesting is because there's always just some drama. The Giants, it seems that it was the Jets that ended up trading one of their players this week, but I believe the Giants did as well, if I'm not mistaken.
They traded together.
Yes, they did. So the Giants actually acquired. Yes,
and the Giants got they got one of the Williams guys, right? Trent? Or no, Leonard, right? Leonard.
I believe you are correct. I'll let you search for that, Sean. But so with the Cowboys at the Giants, it's one of those things where this is that turning point of the season. Who did they get?
Leonard Williams.
Leonard Williams.
Yeah, because Trent
long time
just finally signed with the Redskins. Finally.
Yeah, just signed.
His holdout finally. Not that that's going to help.
Allegedly.
So Cowboys at the Giants are going to be playing in New York. I'm just curious to see will this game bring the best out of the Cowboys, because for the Giants this is one of those just transitional years. This is they know they're trying to bring in pieces and hope for moving forward. But for the Cowboys, they really need to kind of turn it up and really use this second half of the season to really to start to get some distance in between them and the rest of their division. So who you got in this one, Casual E?
You said they need to turn it up. They usually turn it up against the bad opponents.
Yeah, I think you were saying that at the beginning of the season too. You were saying that at the beginning.
But remember, the first time these two teams played, the opener, Eli was the quarterback. So
yeah,
and then so now it's going to be a different Giant teams that they're facing. They got a quarterback that can get the ball downfield and can run the ball. They can run the ball. So every time these two teams get together, you flip a coin pretty much, because it's one of those NFC. It's one of those divisional battles that you throw the records out, and these two teams just go at it no matter what. So somehow the Giants always get up for the Cowboys, and the Cowboys get up for the Giants no matter what their record is. But in this game, two of the premier running backs, this should be a good game to watch for the running backs position.
Okay.
Ezekiel Elliott on one side.
Yeah.
Remember when the Giants got Saquon Barkley, I said the Giants got their Ezekiel Elliott. So they're pretty much the same thing almost for both of those teams. So I like Daniel Jones in this game. I don't know why. I think their O-line can protect him enough to get the ball downfield enough to then battle these Cowboys, and especially being at home too. Dallas, somewhere down the line, also gives you a choke game every once in a while, too. So this could be that choke game. So I'm going with the Giants. And like I said, I'm rolling the dice. I'm rolling the dice.
He's got a lot of dice to roll.
What you got, Sean?
Yeah, I got to play it safer than Earl right now.
You're playing safe.
The Giants are having a hard time. They're going to have a hard time keeping up with the Cowboys offensively. But, like you said, this is a divisional game and anything could happen. Saquon's going to have to carry the load for the Giants to win, though. The Giants' defense is sneaky good. I'm not going to discredit them. They are a few pieces away. This trade might help that, but it's still early for them. Like you said, it's a transitional year, Jay. There's a little bit more they have to do, a little bit more youth they have to probably bring in so they can become a competitive team. I don't see the Giants winning this game, though, being 1-3 at home. That's big to overcome. So I'm going Cowboys just to play it safe.
Let's move on to the Texans at the Jaguars. The reason I put this game here, because Deshaun Watson is a bad man.
That's a bad dude, man.
That's a bad dude. Oh, this typically doesn't happen. J.J. Watt's out for the rest of the season.
No, that's never happened before.
It typically doesn't happen.
That's never happened before.
I don't know.
Is he related to the Bosa family?
The Watt and Bosa family.
Man.
Watt and Bosa Incorporated, yeah.
You saw the man got kicked in the, I'm talking about Watson here, got kicked in the eye,
Dude,
still passing, coming back in the game. Fearless. I'm just saying, bad man.
Fearless. That dude is
that's the Texas mantra.
Frail and fearless.
Anything in him, though. That dude is just, man, he's awesome.
Yeah, so I just want to see. They're five. The Texans are 5-3, and the Jaguars are 4-4. So it's just that Watson factor, Deshaun Watson. So see how that goes. So your thoughts on this one, Sean? Who you got?
Yeah, this is a strange week of games. Houston's all over the place this year. No J.J. Watt, like you said. I'm still going Texans because the Jaguars are having a hard time with better teams. They just are, and Houston is a better team. I might change this one at kickoff just because it's on the road in Jacksonville and weird things happen with these two teams. But right now, I'm going Texans.
Yeah, you got to go Texans, but you can't overlook the so-called or so far Rookie of the Year, Minshew. That's what they got him down. They got him dubbed as Rookie of the Year.
At least Rookie Mustache of the Year.
Rookie Offensive Player of the Year, I should say.
Okay.
But yeah, too much for the Texans. I think if Deshaun Watson just keeps doing what he's doing, and he has no fear. I mean, this a rush, a pass rush, no matter what you throw at this dude.
Don't matter.
I mean, he lets the pass rush hit him, and he's still just looking downfield. I'm going to. It's like he invites the pain.
Yeah.
I don't get it. But
Yeah.
Those.
It's almost the taste of blood is what wakes him up.
Like
That's his smelling
salts.
salts.
Like, taste his own blood. He's like, yeah.
We got to go.
You don't hit Minshew. Minshew lets you hit him.
Well,
That's how it goes, right?
let's go. But you know what? I haven't heard a lot of this season with the Texans talking. I haven't heard D Hop doing much of what he used to do, like he did last year. Like every game, Hopkins was like killing people.
Right.
Film on him now.
Yeah, exactly. Where is he? People doubling him or something? But I like the Texans in this game.
Let's get to the Buccaneers at the Seahawks. This is interesting to me, and for no other reason that Jameis Winston. It's like when they say Clemson back years ago. Jameis Winston. I mean, he ended up trying to bring him back. Ended up getting an interception towards the end of the game. The Buccaneers are 2-5, so that's just you gotta holler at your boy, your man Bruce Arians, just say, hey coach, I just want to see how it's going. What's good with you? Yeah. Because he has to be pulling his hair. Well, if he had hair, he had to be pulling his hair. What you got?
The Suns are killing the Warriors 43-14.
Whoa, wait a minute.
That's what I'm talking about right
Hold
there.
on.
43-14.
Are you serious?
I drove here listening to that game. The score was 12-10 Suns. 9 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Wait.
And it's now 8:30, which is at least 40 minutes ago. They have 14 points.
Playoffs.
Wow. See, that's what I was telling you. I was talking to Sean about that.
14.
And I told you they probably wouldn't, if they got out of the second round, got to the second round, I told you I'd be amazed. That's what I'm saying.
You might be onto something there.
And people, you know what people are going to be loving to do?
I didn't know it was going to be that bad.
But that's one of those things where when you get beat by a team so much, and the whole league, when they have an opportunity to come back and give thank you, sir, may I have another? Everybody's about to feast on the Warriors all season long.
You know what? Last little thing I'll say on it is Draymond's getting a
I
little
was about
humble
to
pie
say that.
right now. He's been calling out the Suns since last year.
Since last year, saying we were a crap team and everything.
And this is without Ayton, so
man.
Okay.
Yeah.
If they can still, they can still shoot 43s and make them all.
Shout out
back.
to Suns Nation right there.
There you go, Suns.
Man.
Speaking of nations, the 12th man with the Seahawks. Seahawks are 6-2. Again, Russell Wilson is just that man. He's a bad, bad man. Who you got in this one, Casual E?
Who else? In the 12th man?
Jameis.
Spot. Seattle. And, well, you know what, though? BA knows how to win in Seattle.
That was my point, yeah.
Okay.
BA knows how to win in Seattle, but he doesn't have the same components to go up there to do it.
This is true.
He knows the formula.
This is true.
He does not have the components to do it. This is going to get ugly. Russell and them will win this one by double digits.
I'm going to have to call Spygate on Earl for taking my notes. I asked the question, does Bruce Arians have Seattle's number in Seattle? Yes. But does Bruce Arians have Carson Palmer right now? The answer is no. So Seahawks are going to win here and make Jameis look sloppy. I didn't have many stats on this one just because it's more of a gut game. You're going into a hostile environment that's known to make good quarterbacks look bad. They're going to make bad quarterbacks look bad. And unfortunately, Bruce is trying his best to make Jameis that couch at the garage sale that is a nice sell. It's like got a $300 price tag on it, but there's holes in it and there's it's just a mess, right? It's like these couches we're sitting on right now, and you're trying to sell it, and no one wants to buy it. And you know what you end up doing? You just keep the couches. So that's Jameis for you right there.
Oh, man.
And Seahawks are winning big.
Okay, so let's move on to the Bears at the Eagles. Do you think if the Bears were to go for a game-winning field goal that their fans would have any confidence if it was like, say, a 25-yard chip shot?
Nope.
Do you think that they would have any confidence? That is a fan base that is shell-shocked. It could be 15 years from now. They can win 3 Super Bowls in a row, and every time the kicker comes out to make a kick, they would be nervous and they'd be shook. So the Eagles beat the Buffalo Bills last week. The Bears, it's sad when you do that. They didn't trust their quarterback enough to be able to, or either elements of their running game or their passing game, to try to put themselves into better field position before taking that game, what would have been a game-winning field goal. So your thoughts on this one, Casual E?
Man, the Bears had a chance to get Watson or Mahomes, right?
A lot of teams had a chance for Mahomes
in the same draft, and they traded up or traded
down.
They traded down to get themselves into that spot to take Trubisky.
At the time, looked like a good idea.
At the time, last year, you would think, that was a good pick. They did it. They knew what they was looking for. They knew what they wanted.
Yeah, man.
Now it's like, man, that dude is shell shocked. He's out. He doesn't even fit. He doesn't even fit as a starting quarterback. I mean, we've already established that last week, but man, the Eagles are starting to get some type of groove back. You know, they looked pretty good last week, so I didn't take no notes on none of these games, so I'm going with the Eagles because the Bears are just all tossed up.
You know, I'll say it till the day I die. No one can convince me of this. It is near impossible to have a good quarterback play for the Bears. Just because of how windy it is, how messed up those conditions
I've heard
are.
that. I've heard that argument quite a bit.
It's so hard to throw there. Not that it's impossible. I mean, Aaron Rodgers does it and lights them up all the time.
Are there ghosts there?
I don't know. You have to ask Darnold about that one. But the thing is, yeah, Chicago's struggling. I don't know that it's all Trubisky's fault. They have a good defense. Chicago's struggling to average 20 points a game on offense. Philly's right around 25. I like to take averages in these weird games, so I'm going with Philly at home. They're almost even on points scored and points allowed, as well as yardage, but this just means it's going to be a boring, divisional, sloppy game.
Yeah.
But that also means I'm going with a home team just because of that.
Who are the receivers on the Bears that Trubisky's throwing to?
I'll let Sean look that up.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. You can't even.
Yeah, you don't even know
a receiver on that team.
A-Rob, Allen Robinson, Anthony Miller, Taylor Gabriel, Cordell Patterson is actually on that team this year.
Yeah, he's still.
And Riley Ridley
back too. Did you see that one last week? That was pretty cool.
And real quick, as we're taping this, so the World Series is going on. It's almost over. It is what the Nationals are still up, I believe. It's the ninth inning. So we'll keep you posted on that. So it's 4-2 Washington, top of the ninth with the bases loaded, and yeah. So we'll keep you up to date on this one.
Trophy.
So let's go with the Lions at the Raiders. Lions going into Oakland. The Raiders are 3-4, and the Lions are 3-1. It's one of those things where people are saying that the Lions' record is not indicative of how talented or how much improved, let's say, their head coach is, Matt Patricia, and how they perform in terms of as a team, in terms of their effort and those types of things. But the record is what the record is. So what do you got on this one as the Lions are coming into the black hole, Sean?
You know, I agree with everything you said about the Lions, but this is my risky game pick of the week. I don't know if that's a thing. We're going to call it a thing. It'll be sponsored by somebody next week. We'll probably figure that out.
Message.
This is a winnable game for the Raiders. This is a winnable game for the Raiders. I'm picking the Raiders at home. Both teams have struggled with legitimate competition. Neither team has shown convincing evidence of being competitive.
Okay.
But I'm gonna take the home team because the Lions can't put anything together. They can't get momentum anywhere. And the Raiders lost all that momentum long ago, so they got nothing to lose. I'm going Raiders at home. Lions are just going to bring back those paper bags and trying to figure it out next year.
Who was the Raiders' opponent last week?
Raiders last
Texans,
week
right?
played.
Texans,
yep,
right?
Texans.
And
Yep.
The previous week was the Packers. They just ran into two good offenses.
Right.
That, Gruden, they wasn't ready for it. Their defense is just not good enough to hold up against those really high-powered offenses. Here comes another offense that's really high-powered to a point. They let Stafford rip this rock. They let Stafford rip the ball all day long. I mean, his receivers and him are just really tied. They work really well together. But they don't win games. But they just know how to move the ball deep.
Right.
But in the black hole, because the Lions usually do that in domes. So I don't know why I like the Raiders in this game too, because they do play like a gritty game. They don't just let you come in there and beat them up. They'll fight until their talent just can't match the other team's talent. So I like the Raiders in this game though.
Cool. So let's go and let's talk.
Wait, did you say you're picking the Raiders? Did we get that from?
Oh yeah, I'm picking the Raiders.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I'm picking the
He
Raiders.
picks them every week regardless.
Not all the time.
No.
Not all the time.
Now
But
you can't get in third by doing that.
this is we have to talk about the elephant in the room, or the trick or treat that will be going on tomorrow. Is the 49ers coming into Arizona, coming in to play the Cardinals. So the 49ers are 7-0. The 49ers come in with this is one of those things when if the head coach of with Shanahan, did I say that right? Yeah, Shanahan, you would think offense, but you would think passing in terms of passing offensive genius, right?
Yeah.
But what he has here is a team that is a running machine.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's the mark of a good coach. Being able to say, this is the talent that I have, or maybe be able to change who you are, be a bit of a chameleon, and say, this year we're going to be running the ball down your throat, or whatever it is, whatever it takes is what we're going to do. And that defense, I said to Ed yesterday when we were on talking to the Believe in the Arizona Cardinals podcast, I said, what chance do the Cardinals have? Can they use the aggression of the 49ers defense against them? And he said, no, they're disciplined. They're disciplined. They're not just going willy-nilly. They're disciplined, but they're aggressive. The Cardinals are 3-4-1. They come off of a loss to the Saints from last week. This is one of those things. It's funny because if I told you that the Cardinals would be 3-4-1 at this point in the season, you say, yes, okay, I'll take it. But coming off of a 3-game winning streak, the expectations change. Even though you're thinking silly and you're being crazy, you still say, well, what if we win? And what if we're able to compete at a higher level? And they were in this game for a little while. But it was one of those things where the better team just won out. So how do you see this playing out with this game? I think you could have a lot of 49ers fans that are going to be at State Farm Stadium. So what do you, some of them like live in the valley. Yeah. So what do you
cheaper to live here?
Exactly. What do you got on this one, Sean?
It's gonna be rough. Yeah. Coming back from just a beating in New Orleans. A couple days later, playing the Niners.
With both of your running backs out.
Both of your running backs out.
You got Drake, though. What up, Drake? What up, Rob?
You got Drake.
You should have brought that soundbite.
No, I'm not going to play the soundbite again. We might get hit up for copyright. Joe Staley, their tackle, is doubtful. Witherspoon is out for the Niners as well, their cornerback. Here's the one sliver of chance I see the Cardinals maybe taking advantage of. Okay. Jimmy Garoppolo, 9 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Patrick Peterson's back. Looks like he can catch an interception or two.
He could definitely peacock it.
He could try, right? Murray takes care of the ball a little bit better than Garoppolo does.
Right.
If we can make them play our game, there's a chance. But if that defense breaks loose on us at any point, Kyler's going to be on the ground frequently. Yeah. I don't see this being a good game. I see this being a pretty ugly game. The Niners are around 400 total yards of offense. Cardinals at 365. They allow 254. Cardinals allow 426. It's going to be rough. I don't want to believe in the Niners. I really don't. I feel like the Niners always have that huge start, and then someone gets hurt, and things kind of derail. I'd like to see that I wouldn't ask for an injury, obviously, but I'd like to see them derail on Thursday, but I can't pick it because it's just not a smart pick. Right. Earl's going to pick it because he needs that pick. but I can't take that pick with all that's going against the Cardinals right now in this game.
Yeah, it's going to be tough no matter what. I mean, when you look at this game, I took last week's game to see where this team was. Okay. And then now coming into this game, we're not ready for this game. When I say not ready, I'm not saying we're not prepared for it. I'm saying we're not on the same level as this team. I mean, when the season first started, shout out to my boy Steve from California, who was on his way here to this game. We do it every single year, and you will have the bragging rights. Last year we swept you. This year you're going to do it right back in a 49ers sandwich because our schedule is 49ers, another team, and 49ers again. So
Buccaneers, actually.
Yeah, exactly. So, but when the season started, nobody thought they were going to be this good.
The 49ers are first when it comes in rushing attempts.
Nobody. Yeah. 272 times they've rushed the ball.
Pounding the ball.
Pounding the rock.
You want to know why?
And you made
Jimmy
a point.
G's throwing 7
That's
interceptions.
what I said. But you made a point about Jimmy G. You got to get to him to make him throw those interceptions.
Of course.
If you don't get to him, which I can't see us doing, he will have a good game based on that running game. Because all they're going to do is that running game is going to set up what? The new receiver, Sanders. Play action, here come the deep ball. So it's like, all I can see in this game is touchdown, oh, touchdown, you know.
Yeah.
Just the slow, methodical beat down. And it's not that I'm just down in my Cardinals. I'm looking at this 49er team. They are brutal, man. These dudes get at it. And when you talk about a defense.
Second-ranked defense.
Oh, my God.
Second-ranked defense.
Now,
in terms of points for.
You got a defense that's being pretty much almost being led by a rookie who has a chip on his shoulder that says, you should have took me number one.
Yeah.
And that you don't think he wants to get his hands on Kyler?
Right.
But you talk about a glimmer of hope. Here's your glimmer of hope. We don't have a chance to run the ball in this game. Don't even try it. If there was any time for the Cardinals to go 5 spread, this is the game. Go 5 spread and let the quick game be your running game. Quick, boom, 5 there, boom, 2, like he was doing, like we did in the first couple of games.
Yeah.
That's the only way we can move the ball to move the chains,
right,
and have some sort of a running game. And you gotta save Kyler. You cannot let him sit back there and be a sitting duck. The quick game will save him, will not get sacked a lot.
Right.
And he has to be pinpoint accurate in this game, too, because the 49ers cover very well, too.
Yeah. Right.
It's like, where do you see a place that we can play that perfect to win this game?
The one thing I want to throw out there, though, you know the team that had him the closest and scored the most on him?
The 49ers?
Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh scored 20 points in a 24-20 loss.
Which game of the season? That
It
first,
was game 3. Game 3.
Okay.
Garoppolo had 277. Mostert, I don't know how to say that that running back. He had 79 rushing yards. Kittle had 57 receiving yards. That Pittsburgh defense did something to kind of slow them down, but they're coming off of a 51-13 win.
To beat them.
A 9-0, basically, it was a walkthrough game against Washington. 20-7 against LA. 31-3 against Cleveland. 41-17 against Cincinnati. I mean, they put up points in bunches on you.
Here's a number for you. 23.1. That's the defensive red zone percentage for the 49ers. And we know when it comes to that red zone,
that's a good point.
If Earl had some paper in front of him,
he'd
be shaking. He'd be shaking.
Have the piano playing in the back. Yeah, that's a good point. And then we talked about 25 sacks for what team we were talking about? 25 sacks? I forgot who it was.
It was a couple teams ago.
27 sacks for this 49ers team.
Yeah.
They're 4th in the league in sacks. They get pressure. They lead the league in pressure. 31.1% of just, floodgates coming.
Right.
I mean, it's like, that's scary when you think about it. It's like, man, how is this offensive line going to hold up to that? And then you got to compare it to they played the Panthers, right? And 51 points in blue. And
51 points.
Compare our game against the Panthers and look at the two and go, we're going to get smashed in this game.
Yeah.
It does seem bad.
I'm sorry. I love the Cardinals, but it's like, I don't see any. Man, the best thing you can do, like I said, is just spread them out and do some quick, and make that your running game and see if we can, bust one over the top every once in a while.
Here's a hypothetical. Say the Niners overlook us a little bit. They drop a game, maybe with like a last-second field goal or something. It's not going to be a blowout, obviously, but we play them in 2 more games.
Right.
Revenge is going to be had. It's going to be 70-5.
Think about
For
this
some weird
too.
reason, right?
Think about this too. Our defense up against a run game with a three-headed monster that averages 181 yards per game.
Right.
Our defense
Yeah.
up against a running game that stout. Where are we going to stop the run? How?
But don't forget, they have George Kittle, too. I mean, he's a tight end.
But there's your Halloween right there.
Yeah. There's the Joker.
There's your Halloween right there. That's scary.
Yeah.
You got Kittle, you got that three-headed monster to run, and you got their defense. That's it. Nobody said anything about their offense.
Mm-mm.
Nobody said nothing about their passing offense, I should say.
Right.
But, man, 181 yards, they're averaging that per game. Nobody's stopping them.
No.
So how are we going to do
Here's
I'm
something.
trying to sell you on it. We're not.
I'm trying, you know, I was always trying to make a way.
Trying to find positive.
Just trying to throw something that said, this could happen, but...
Here's something that's interesting to me. This just kind of goes philosophically, and so if we're zooming out from just this game, one of the things that I know you pay attention to the press conferences and those things
Yes.
that the coach says.
Yes.
The Kingsbury. If we're looking at somebody who now, if you're either an offensive coach or a defensive coach, or maybe you're like Harbaugh, where you were a special teams coach, and so there's you have whatever it was that got you hired, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the best coaches understand what's going on the other side of the ball, or the other two elements of the team, so special teams, offense or defense, etc. Right?
Correct.
So we know that Kingsbury is coming in, and his focus is on the offense. It's almost as if they said, "Here, what about what's going on over there, Dad? No. I just want you to focus right here on this homework you got going on right here."
Right.
It seems that is where the next opportunity for Kingsbury is. I mean, there's a lot of opportunities for him, is to really understand what's going on the defensive side of the ball, and maybe with some of the other elements of special teams. 6'2", the Washington Nationals have won the World Series, so that is interesting. And this was an interesting side note. I'm curious to see what the numbers are for Game 7, but this is one of the lowest rated World Series, just because baseball being such a regional sport in Houston and in Washington, D.C., or that tri-state area, that's when I'm sure everybody's watching it there, but in terms of the rest of the country, that's a different story. So congratulations.
The road team won on like every game.
They did. They sure
Incredible.
did. So what about one of the things that I heard from Kingsbury was him talking about when he was just doesn't seem to know what's going on in the other elements of the defensive room.
Right,
and when he was asked about his decision to go for it on that 4th and 1 on their own 30, where he said, "We decided."
That's good.
Semantics, but key.
Oh, yeah.
It's key.
We.
It's I decided, because
Right.
you're the key. You're the head man. So instead of trying to, it's not supposed to be this collective. We can give you our opinion, and you tell us. You make the ultimate decision, Coach.
Exactly.
So it's not we decided; it's you decided.
I decided.
That may
I
be
agree
that's
with
an
that.
opportunity for him in terms of growth and getting into this
Right.
this position and really being able to be a leader of men. In my opinion, what do you think about
I
that?
agree with that 100%. That's why I said starting out, we're not ready for this game, and we're not ready for it from the coaching standpoint either. When you think about last week's game, we were not ready to match wits with Sean Payton, and we're not ready to match wits with Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah.
And everything else that he's doing. And, because Kingsbury does not have full reign of the team.
Right.
There's some time where you got to go, okay, Vance, I know you want to run so-and-so, but you got to put Patrick Peterson on that receiver, because that receiver's
Michael
killing
Thomas.
us. Michael Thomas, 11 targets, 11 catches in a zone. You got to change up and put a guy on that guy and get him out of the game.
Second half adjustments.
Exactly.
Or obviously in-game adjustments, but second half adjustments most notably as well.
And it's kind of like the rookie on a team. When you come on a basketball team or whatever team, you think I don't want to be the one to step up and tell nobody what to do, because I'm new. I'm only a rookie. I can't. And I kind of feel that way with Kingsbury. He don't want to be the one to step up and say do so. But dude, sorry, you're in that spot. You have to do that.
Yeah.
And that ticked me off last week. I'm like, because I didn't see that game, but when you told me that, when we were on the show that month, I was like, are you kidding me? We did not make an adjustment and put Patrick on that guy. So I said, if we're doing that same defense this week on tomorrow's game, like I just said, Sanders is going to have a big game.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
Let's talk a little bit, if we get a chance, about our running back position.
Let's talk about it.
We picked up Drake, right?
Yes.
How can we think that this guy's going to come in on short notice, playing that defense?
Hey,
right.
Just hold on. We're going home. That's a Drake line.
Unless we could just hold on until we got the last play of the game. It's a Hail Mary play, and he makes the same play.
The Hail Mary to win. Let's go.
The play he did against New England. That ain't happening. But I'm just saying, it's just hard. It's hard to think that all three of those running backs can pick up this offense enough to be effective in this game. Mm. What do you think about the trade, though? Was that trade?
I guess it was out of necessity, right? Because you bring in two guys what does that say about your evaluation of the guys that you brought in?
Right.
Because if you sign two people, I don't expect that when you sign somebody off the street, you're expecting them to come in and be a superstar.
Correct.
But you should not expect them to just come in and be decorations.
Right.
They should be able to be some major. They shouldn't just be also rans or just afterthoughts. And that's what that's what concerns me a bit.
That concerns me a lot. I mean, when you replace star players that are hurt, you don't replace them with players that can almost take their job as stars. You replace them with people that come in just to fit a few holes just until they come back.
Yeah.
But you go out and get a guy that's a tier 2 or tier 3 guy.
You just spent a draft pick on him.
You got to start questioning, okay, are we just making a move based on maybe down the line that Mr. David Johnson don't get things together and he's just not as fluid in his offense as we want him to be? Maybe he's that next guy that can take over this offense as far as the running game goes.
Right.
That's that type of move that they made.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Otherwise, you're talking about, 8 games, maybe 6 if he picks up the offense, that you got this guy and you just blew that.
Speaking of that, before we head out of here, so who was it that the Giants picked up? They picked up a Williams on defense,
Larry
correct?
Williams. Yep.
So how irate were you when you found out what the cost was to get him? In terms of, because I know last week one of the things that you talked about was, look, we can't just take a slow process, but be aggressive when trying to acquire talent, even if you're getting them in the middle of the season for your future.
Right.
So how frustrating or disappointing was it that they didn't make a move?
Yeah, it was
in that
very
way.
frustrating because they're it looks like they're misled. I mean, they're in their heads. They think they're in this thing this year. We're still here. We're 3-4-1. We still have a chance, and so you make a move based on this year, like you're going to try to compete for this year. That Leonard Williams move was a future move.
And a now move.
And a now, both now and future. Or Trent Williams. Go to Trent Williams and do a trade to get that guy in your offensive line.
Right.
That's now and future. The Drake move can be now and future depending on what you do with DJ, but it was a now move.
Drake doesn't do a lot of songs with Future. He does some with Future, but every once in a while he'll do that.
Yes.
Do that type of stuff.
There it is.
I don't know. It's a bit confusing. But it's been Steve Kime confusing. I mean, that's just what it is. So
yeah,
I'm gonna be at this game. You'll be at this game.
I will not be at this game.
Oh, you're not gonna be at this game.
I gotta take kids trick or treating, man. We gotta get the candy. Well, you better believe this garage will be open. We'll have a little campfire outside. The game will be on the TV.
I will be sitting there for the horror flick.
Yeah, I'm not going there for that. No.
Yeah, I hear you, man. It's gonna remind us of that Denver game.
Dude, I was at that game.
Let's just hope that we come out of here healthy from the quarterback's position. At least.
Real quick, let's run through these last games just to give the people what they want, what they need. Real quick before we head out, just to pick Browns at Broncos. Sean?
Browns.
What you got, Aaron? Redskins at Bills. Who you got, Sean?
Bills.
We got Jets at Dolphins. Who you got, Earl?
Ooh, Jets.
The Jets. Yeah, Jets.
Real quick side note, 20 seconds. Any team that has the Dolphins remaining, and as that O continues to be at the front of their record, that has to be nervous. That's just so much pressure. We talked about it a little bit last week, but that I think it showed with the Steelers. They thought we're gonna get this. It's no big deal.
Don't be that team,
dog. Yeah, don't be that one. Don't be that one. Colts at Steelers. Who you got, Sean?
I'm gonna go Colts.
What you got?
I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Interesting. All right, cool. So we had a good time. We got through it. So shout out to our man Ed Smith. Hopefully, Earl's administrative assistant will make sure to get those picks in for him.
They gonna matter.
So on behalf of Sean McConnell, on behalf of the one and only Earl Burnett, shout out to Ed Smith. I am Javon Adams. We do this every week. We'll be back on our regular time on Thursday. So until next time, like we always say around this time, we gone.
Coming for that trophy.
No fighting in that stadium, Cardinal fans. 49er fans about to make us.
Yeah, they coming in with the chips. They coming in to talk mess.
They finna fill this thing.
Woo! It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be bad.
All the bars tonight are all filled up.